podcast where we talk about strength, hope, and what's possible when we look beyond the noise. So today we have a very special guest who I am honored to have on. She has a lot of things going on. Her name is Shamika Rucker. She is the founder and CEO of the Wellness Company. She's an educator. She's the creator of a small batch skin hair care line. She also owns and runs a private boutique fitness studio where she coaches clients on strength and endurance training. She also is a adjunct instructor, I'm sorry, at Augusta Technical College. So she is the true definition of really defining what holistic wellness looks like. Now, she has a lot of other credentials, but I wanted her to probably talk about that a little bit more, and I didn't want to give away too much. But without further ado, we have Shamika on right now. Hey, it is a pleasure to have you on. She's one of my Skigi colleagues as well, so you know how Skigi do. We go above and beyond in everything we do. So welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you
Well,
so much. I'm so happy to be here.
yeah,
Thank you.
I have been following you on Instagram, and I literally like saw like you. I feel like I saw you from the beginning into where you are now, like from before you had your studio, and then to now, and then like before you had your skincare product, and to now. So before we get into all that, just give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Well, I mean, one thing is for sure, I do believe in transparency and being open and honest about my own personal journey. I think that's what brings the authenticity into what I do and how I serve my community. I am a 2004 Tuskegee alum,
Hey, Tuskegee.
engineering, chemical engineering, and physics major. I have an MBA from Northeastern University. I spent about 20 years in corporate America doing engineering up in the Boston area.
Wow.
I was able to globe trot with my career. I was actually a literal rocket scientist, if you will.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah.
That's what's
I'd say
up.
around my mid-30s was when I kinda got tired of it. I had kinda
Mhm.
leapfrogged my career, and I was like you said, we go hard. We go real
Yeah.
hard as
So
as Tuskegee teaches us,
right.
and, I was like, "I gotta get out of this. This is a hamster wheel," if you will. So,
Yeah, no, I
I
totally
was
get it.
like yeah, yeah. I was like, "Man, by the time I'm 40, I need to be walking out of the door." So,
Yeah, no,
I
I
was able
totally
to
get
get
it. I had a guest on last week, Wayne North, what we know him as Rudy, and we were talking about
yeah.
like how Tuskegee kind of prepares you for like life and how to make it happen. Because down there, you're just in the woods, you're the sticks, like they might have a little bit more things now, but like when we were down there, it was just kind of like this is what it is. You got to be able to politic, you got to be able to, you got to survive basically, on the bare
Absolutely.
minimum, still maintaining your grades. I didn't know you were at Chem E and all that major and stuff. Like you all were the ones that were in Chappie James. You were part of the smart crowd, the very smart crowd.
I was doing alright. I mean, I wouldn't say I was all that, but, I was like 1 credit or 1 class shy of a 3rd degree in mathematics,
Oh
but I
wow.
was like, I gotta get out of here and make some money." Yeah.
So
But, yeah.
what made you transition from like engineering into what you do now? Because that's I mean those are two like different ends of the spectrum, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I put it like this. So chemical engineering was when I graduated from high school, the highest paid degree that you could get at the time without
Okay.
a long extended college career.
Okay.
And that was actually why I picked it. I picked it because the book, I'll never forget. I read it in a book. Oh, chemical engineering. I want to major in that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't get
so,
that same book.
yeah, yeah, I also had a, family friend who was a Tuskegee she was in Tuskegee, attended Tuskegee as well,
Okay.
and she was a chemical engineering major, and she seemed to be doing pretty well. I've always been, like, academically, astute, and so I never was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this because I don't think I can do it." So I was like, "Oh, that's the one? Okay, I'll pick that."
Yeah, y'all kept me majors. Y'all were always in the in Chappie
In the
James.
lab.
Did you all have to? Did you have to take? I know a lot of the engineering majors will always talk about this C plus plus math or whatever that they all had to take, and everybody used to like struggle with it and say like how crazy it was. I was a biology major, so well I was on the other side of campus, but that engineering, man, I was just like that's just a whole different beast.
Yeah.
I used to watch.
So
I used to go to some of their tutoring sessions, and I'm like, man, this is not that. It's no. It's not even any numbers on the board. Like, how is this even math?
well, I mean, that's all it is math. I mean, as a biology major, I'm sure you can relate because you had to take chemistry.
Right, right,
So,
right, right. Yeah.
yeah, it's all about building off of that fundamental knowledge
Uh-huh.
of life form, of how things work together. It really is all math. So, if you can get through biology, you can get through chemistry, and if you can get through chemistry, you can get through chemical
I don't
engineering.
know, man. It took me. I struggled
But
a
C++
little bit, man.
is actually a, software language,
Okay.
and I personally struggled through that. I remember
Uh,
having to take that class, and I was like, "I can't relate. I can't figure this out." It was very difficult for me, and I always admired, like, software people and coders and stuff like that.
gotcha.
Like, I'm a hardware engineer
Okay.
just because I gotta see it and feel it and touch it and, I
Oh wow.
yeah,
I didn't know you did all that. So all that, how did that get you into like, the fitness and the skincare line? Because that's pretty impressive.
yeah.
That's pretty amazing too.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I get to do a lot of stuff. I'm kind of in my kitchen slash laboratory, if you will. But yeah, so I started working in the gym when I was at Tuskegee.
Uh-huh.
I worked in Auburn at AC Fitness. It was right across from the mall. I don't know if you remember the Auburn Mall.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. I used to work at Red Lobster and Applebee's up there and all that. So yeah, I hung out
Okay, so
in
you know the
Auburn.
area.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I worked at the gym in Auburn, and that was like my introduction into like physical fitness, and I was
Uh-huh.
basically a salesperson. I sold
Oh,
gym
okay.
membership. And then from there I got into actually personal like training clients because they were
Oh,
just
wow.
interested in me. And so I was a closer all from the start, I could close a gym membership, whoever get them in here. And so, from there, I remember, like, my last couple of weeks at the studio, I was about to graduate and go on to my career, and, the owner, she's like, the GM actually, she's like, "Well,
Mhm.
we're about to open up a new gym, and I would love for you to run it as my new GM." And I was like, "Okay, go
Wow,
off,
that's pretty
sis."
good. Yeah.
But I was like, I gotta go make this engineering money. I mean, y'all are cool, but
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that gym
I've
money.
been in college for how many years? Like, I gotta
Yeah.
go see what it's about.
Y
I was
Yeah, that
already
gym money
sold
is
on
all is good, but it's a slow grind. That engineering money,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they give you that they write you that contract right away. Like, "This is what we gonna pay you."
Well, yeah, absolutely, when you're coming in the door,
Uh-huh.
it's just the grit and the grind that you have to go through in order to propel your career. That's where a lot of people stall out.
Uh-huh.
I was very fortunate that I didn't get to see that part personally,
Uh-huh.
but I know a lot of my peers that, have struggled and are still struggling in that regard. To be
Uh-huh.
quite honest, gym money is way faster than engineering
Oh,
money.
really? 'Cause I
Yeah.
would think like,
Yeah.
with the gym, you would have to like, build your clientele up, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
But like if you
absolutely.
work for an engineering firm, like you get like a salary like like right away. But in the long run, I know some people who started out in the gym, but now they're doing like phenomenal. But like in the beginning, they was like, man, I only got two clients, man. I got to get another job.
Well, you know what? Just reversing back to when I let it all go as in terms of
Uh-huh.
my career and started into the gym, I
Uh-huh.
did have that I went through that slump, if you will, and, I started in the actual gym working
Okay.
full-time in Boston at
Gotcha.
Women's Fitness of Boston,
Okay.
and, it was cool and it was slow and the money was terrible. But I don't have the personality of Imma just take this little bit. I was like, I got big girl bills. I gotta figure out a way to
Yeah.
work. And so, because of my mentality and my drive and my initiative, I was able to walk into Nike. I got a Nike partnership in Boston.
Did
I
you
was able
really?
to Yeah, yeah, I was training for Nike. Yeah, yeah.
What?
I think you
Okay.
saw that on my Instagram too.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, I didn't see that part on there, but I just saw, like, like I saw your journey because you posted it on there when you first got your studio, and then
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
you at an
No, this was
event.
bad.
Yeah, and
This
then
was back like
I saw an event
2019.
when you were out there, and I was like, "She got a skincare line too?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "My
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
man, like, she's really doing it." You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was just kinda like, um, I need to get her on here so she could tell her story, man, because that to me, I'm inspired because it's all anything is possible, if as long as you believe in
yeah,
yourself, but that's the most important part is believing in yourself because
absolutely.
it can be scary, when you're out
Yeah,
there and about and when you're putting in the work and there's no, you don't have an audience or you don't have anybody cheering you on. It's just you, your thoughts, and
yep.
God.
Absolutely. And, I blame that on being an only child. I grew up an
Uh-huh.
only child, so,
Okay.
and being delusional. A lot of successful people talk about the delusion. I'm not gonna say delusion of grandeur, I'm gonna just say the delusion of success. Like,
Uh-huh.
you have to believe that whatever it is you're gonna do is gonna work, because
Right.
it always does. I mean, it may not look exactly how you thought it was supposed to look, but when you sit there in that moment and you reflect and you're like, "Wait a minute, I am doing the shit that I thought I was gonna." Oh, can I curse? I
Yeah,
am
you're
doing the
fine.
stuff that I thought I was gonna that I thought I would be doing, you know? So, I mean, it's one of those things where it takes a lot of, like you said, courage, takes a lot of delusion, and it just takes a lot of confidence. That's one thing that I can say that I gained while in corporate America as well, is just the confidence to just walk in the room and say, "Okay, well, now we can start."
No, yeah. Yeah, I know, right? So what was some of your so what was that day like when you were like, "You know what? I don't want to even do this engineering anymore. I'm about to step out on faith and I'm just about to do my own thing."
So, I'll tell you the short version. I had been super stressed out. I was
Uh-huh.
traveling constantly.
Oh,
I
I
was
know
never
that.
home. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I love to travel, but the airplanes were just ridiculous. And I think it was like 2015. I wrote down I remember getting like this little yellow notepad and writing down all the days and that I was gone and what
Uh-huh.
countries that I was in and things that I was doing. And I realized, I was like, I was only home 120 days this year. I was like,
Oh, I know that all too
I mean,
well.
this is cool. I always said I wanted to travel,
Right.
but I'm like, I gotta get out of this stuff, this
Right.
situation. So I was trying to manage stress, and I always knew that working out was important to stress management. I mean, it's just a significant part of for me, it's how I calm myself. It's how I'm able to refocus and kind of ground myself.
Uh-huh.
So I got back into the gym and I ended up injuring my shoulder to the point where I had to have rotator cuff surgery.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so that literally sat me down, like having to
Uh-huh.
take all of those months off from work. And I had already kind of decided that I wanted to get out of corporate by the time I was 40,
Uh-huh.
but that kind of accelerated the timeline because I was like, I actually got to sit down and really look at the numbers. How's this going to work? And I was like, you know what? Let's just do it.
Uh-huh.
And I did it, and I had already been, like, complaining to my trainer, like, "Oh, I hate this, I'm
Yeah.
tired." She's like, "You should just come and work for me." And one day I showed up, I was like, "Yeah, let's do this." And
Yeah,
it was like,
sometimes, yeah, that's pretty good, man. Sometimes you just gotta listen to that inner voice, man, and trust yourself because
yeah,
that's really living in your purpose, man. I know all too well when I was in corporate America and I was flying around all the time. In the beginning, it's pretty cool, but after a while, man, like you're not even really enjoying your house, you're not enjoying your apartment, you're gone, like at least three or
yes,
four times a month, and then those hotels they just get lonely. You come in there, you end up hanging down at the the hotel bar eating like whatever, and then it's just like the whole
Yep,
thing over and over again. I know for at least
got
3 or
me.
4 years, I felt like I was just living in the airports, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that just
yeah,
kinda got
yeah,
like wear and tear. So I kinda did the same thing, man. I just like left and just like, you know what, I'm about to do me, and step out on
yeah.
faith and stuff. So who are some of your biggest like influences, like, that made you say, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it, you know?
Well, my first big influence was my family friend who was a Tuskegee alum.
Okay, that's
Like,
what's
if
up,
they can do it,
Tuskegee.
I can do it.
Yep.
Um, I'd say the most significant influence of my life, it goes down to my family, like my
Mhm.
grandmother, my mother, like these were strong women, the pillars of my family, and they kept everything together and working like a well-oiled machine,
Uh-huh.
even in the middle of chaos of the
Uh-huh.
things that were happening during those times. So they kept me grounded and they kept me ambitious and curious about life and just getting out there. They were very
Uh-huh.
encouraging to whatever it was that I wanted to do with my life. They were also to a fault. Oh, if it's not going well, you can always come back home.
Yeah, I know,
Well,
that's
that's
always a big yeah. Like, yeah,
yeah,
nah, I ain't
yeah.
coming back. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my freshman year living in OD, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sad, and I don't like these people." And my granny was like, "Oh, baby, just come on home." And then it was funny because I was like, I ain't going back home. Okay, let me get myself together because
Yeah, no, I feel
I
you on
can
that.
make this work."
I remember, so I started in fast track, man, and I remember like coming down to Tuskegee, and I remember when school first started, I thought we were all out and we went to the atmosphere, and when we came out the atmosphere, we it was probably about like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and we all looked at each other and we was like, you know what? We don't even have to go home if we don't want to because we so we literally drove to Auburn after the atmosphere or whatever, and we just stayed up all night. But I was just like, after it was that moment where I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going home. It's time to grow up and see
Good.
what life and the world is about. And not that I didn't miss my family and things like that, but I just knew that I didn't want to not experience what life had to offer and just like be born in Alabama, grow up in Alabama, and then just stay in Alabama my whole life. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, no matter what state you're in. But
There's
me,
a
I
lot
was
wrong
like,
with that. Let's just be real.
but for me, I was just kind of like, you know what, man, I'm about to go earthbound with my crew, and I'm just about to be out, man. And my mother was a traveler as well, and my dad, he used to travel about, so they didn't really have any like problem with it and things like that. But I just knew for me, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be born here, then grow up here, then work here, and then eventually die here. And I mean, like without
Touche.
seeing the world, and eventually I'm gonna make my way back to Alabama, but I'm in Tennessee right now, and everything is going really, really, really good.
That's
But like,
wonderful.
yeah, and you're in Georgia, right? A
Yeah,
beautiful.
so I'm in Georgia. I'm in Augusta, Georgia, actually. I always knew that I would come back home.
Uh-huh.
Even though I've, lived in Boston, big city. I've lived a couple of different places and traveled pretty much every continent. I
Oh
always
wow.
knew that I would make it. Yeah, I always knew that I would make it back home. I haven't. Yeah, I did go to Australia, but yeah, I mean, no significant time there. But
Uh-huh.
I always knew that I would make it back home because why not? I mean, Augusta is. It's like Tuskegee. It's black. All the streets black. Black political, black workers, black people. Every
Mhm.
corner you turn, you see us, and, I grew up that way. I went to all black schools. I wanted to go to an all black college.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Hey, so when it comes to your business, when it comes to like the fitness and skincare, now is that like a one-stop shop? I actually need to come down there and check this out because I'm very interested to see how you got all this put together.
Absolutely. I can definitely we can FaceTime too. I can walk you through the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so I back in 2019, I started doing personal training full time. and I introduced, my skincare line primarily because I was in New England and I had been living there for 20 years, buying all the expensive stuff, and I was like, "I can no longer afford this." So I had to find a replacement. And I initially started partnering with Black female-owned, businesses to supply, like, body butters, sugar scrubs, things of that nature. And then I was like and soaps too, and so I was like, "Wait a minute,
Oh,
I can
okay, you
kinda."
do the soaps?
Yeah, I could do this myself. So I just started experimenting because, that's the chemistry background and I'm a
Yeah.
tinker. So I just got into it, absolutely love it, and I replaced everything that I use cosmetically with my own stuff, and now I sell it to my clients. I have a pretty devoted following here in Augusta and Columbia County, which is right next to Augusta. So it's been pretty good. I do markets. That's basically how I get out there and build leads is I get out into
Uh-huh.
the community, I meet people, I tell them about my journey, I introduce them to my products and they purchase it, they love it, they keep coming back. And then it's like you start on the cog, you move
Uh-huh.
you to the next level with the marketing aspect. Oh, by the way, I also do personal training. Oh, by the way,
Right.
we also do medical weight loss. We do yin yoga, whatever you need in order to be
Wow, you
well,
do all that?
do. Yeah, the
So
wellness company.
in your company now, do you have a team with you, or how did you go about getting that team, or do you train them, or how does that all work?
Yeah, so I do 1099s. I don't bring anyone in as full-time employee.
Uh-huh.
I primarily partner with contractors. If they have a specialty and they want to hone in on it and they want to bring it under the umbrella,
Wow.
they're more than welcome to come on in. I've partnered with yoga practitioners and other personal trainers,
Oh, wow.
primarily in those areas, to come into the studio and teach and train their clients and things of that nature. I
You do
I
all
like being
this?
a
I'm just, I'm in awe right now. I'm just like in shock. Like, I mean, like I didn't know the extent of everything that you did. I mean, to be
yeah.
honest with you, I thought it was just like training and skincare, but like you run a whole like dynasty over there.
I'm trying, with the new AI tools and
Uh-huh.
different platforms, you're really able to, automate a lot of systems and make things more efficient. I do lean on my corporate background to have an eye for
Oh
or
yeah.
a knack for things like that. So it's one of those things where I'm able to leverage a lot of my past experience into building my own, like you say, dynasty.
So what were some of the obstacles you faced, like, getting this whole thing pulled together? Was there any time where you were just like, "Man, I don't know," or I mean, "Is this what I really wanna do?" or "It ain't really
Yeah.
working how I wanted to work?" Because I know we're all there, but I mean, I'm just curious as to, like, how did you, feel in that moment, and then what made you just stick to the plan and like, "Hey, I know it's a little rough right now, but I still gotta stay the course."
So the first obstacle I faced was COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I left corporate mid 2019, got into personal training full time. I had started my career with Nike. I was interviewing with Equinox. I don't know if you've ever heard of Equinox. It's a really
No.
high-end luxury gym.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was interviewing with them, about to like really step it up. And
Uh-huh.
so COVID hit. Like, okay, so the gym's closed. So what
Oh,
am I gonna
yeah.
do? And this is where I actually leaned in on my network, because in Boston, which is completely different from Georgia, people love to work out. They
You
wanna
are
be fit.
absolutely right. In the
Yeah.
Midwest, so when I got into bodybuilding, It was in the Midwest. I was in a small town in DeKalb, Illinois, and there's literally a gym on every corner, like it's a
Yes.
church on every corner down south. And everybody in the town are bodybuilders. So you have no
Yes.
choice but to get into that lifestyle. I don't know what it is about
Absolutely.
like up there in the Midwest and East Coast. Everybody works out. Well, at least in Illinois, in that small town. I mean, like that is the biggest claim to fame up there. Everybody, they even have a OCB bodybuilding show every November up there, and everybody in the town, majority of the people in the town, are in that show. Whether they doing bikini, whether they're
Listen.
doing bodybuilding, or whether they doing physique, everybody's in that show, man. It is really crazy. So I feel you on that town up
Yeah.
there in like Boston. You know, down south, not so much. It's not a really big workout. Well, at least here in Nashville, it ain't really like a big workout community. You know, you
Not in Georgia, I mean, in Augusta either. I mean, just the
really.
South in general, the
Uh
clientele is completely different.
huh.
I do have my theories, and we can touch on that because it's Black History Month,
Uh huh.
or I'm a touch back on that,
Okay.
but yeah, so, the obstacles. So, COVID hit,
Uh huh.
and people were panicking because the gyms were closing.
I was one of them.
Yeah. And so I leaned into my network. I'm like, I got equipment at the house. Like I was ordering stuff off Amazon and I just basically took my business mobile. I would show up at your house with my mask
Really?
on. Yes, we were
You had a
getting it in.
I think
My
you might be the
clientele
inventor
grew
of the first mobile gym.
exponentially. Listen, exponential growth during COVID.
You were in it
Exponential.
to win it. A mobile gym, that is
Listen,
insane.
I was driving around in my 5 Series with a bunch of gym equipment. We pull up. We were training on the beach, we were training on your balcony, in your backyard, in the
What?
basement, wherever, and, it was great, the journey was great, everybody was doing their thing, and like I said, exponential growth in terms of clientele for personal training. Um, I decided to leave in October of 2020 to come back home to Georgia, because although I had a lot of in-person mobile clients, I also had a lot of virtual clients. So I
Oh
was doing
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so I was making a plan because I'm like, I got to convert all these people to like virtual clients. And I was able to successfully do that with about 75% of my clientele. And so
Gotcha.
came back home to much lower overhead and it worked out even better because, for obvious reasons, the cost of living of Boston compared to Georgia, you know?
Right, I'm
Um,
pretty sure.
yeah.
Wait, so you doing this mobile thing in Boston?
Mhm.
And why?
I
I
was
mean,
there.
because when COVID, was it cold outside? I know it was snow.
Yeah.
That is some serious endurance. I mean, like that is some serious like I gotta have it. I have no other option. It's just gonna happen. That is some serious dedication
Wait a minute now,
because
let's be clear. I had options,
uh-huh.
but that was what I wanted to do.
Okay,
I
okay,
wanted to be
okay.
in that profession. I knew that I was there for a purpose, and it was people who, again, they were looking for a solution. They
Right.
wanted to work out, they weren't able to go to the gym, and I was able to meet their needs. So, I could have at any moment gone right back to work and been
Yeah.
an engineer. I was
Right.
a very to-do executive. Yeah,
Right.
so
Well, I mean, you're a
I
chemistry
had
major, I'm pretty
options,
sure.
but,
Yeah, yeah, no. But I mean, well, for you to endure even though you had options, I mean, that shows like the level of dedication and belief that you had in
yeah.
what you are doing. And I
Delusion.
mean, oh, the delusion. But
Yes.
that's very, very, very impressive. I mean, I yeah, that's just a whole nother level. Cause me, when I lived in
But
Illinois, I
that's the
couldn't stand the
first
cold weather.
obstacle, though. But
Okay.
Travis, the real obstacle came, honestly, in 2024. We had Hurricane Helene that
Oh,
came through
okay.
Augusta. Yes.
Wow.
So, I had just opened my brick and mortar in March of 2024,
Uh-huh.
and in was it September? Yeah, September, we got a hurricane. That's, like, the first hurricane in my lifetime. Like, no
Uh-huh.
one's known of a hurricane coming to the city of Augusta.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, entire city was devastated, and
Wow.
you couldn't leave your home. We didn't have a lot of people didn't have power. Street lights took weeks, some places months to come back
Wow.
up. It was traumatic. It was, traumatic psychologically because I felt like I was driving through a third world country. Like, I didn't
Wow.
even want to leave the house because I was like, "It is devastating outside." All of the
Wow.
trees down, clients who had to, you know, different mentality from the South to the North.
Right.
That tribulation caused them to look away from self-care and wanting to work out.
Right.
Not like, "Oh my gosh, how am I gonna work out?" You know what I mean? Different mentality, different clientele, different mindset. And
Hey,
so I
let me cut you off right quick. It's funny you say that because me, whenever something happens, I got workout equipment here, but always my first instinct is how I'm gonna get to the gym.
yes, yes. So
Different
that's
mentality.
that mentality, different mentality.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh my goodness, I stubbed my toe. I can't work out," you know?
Right. Yep. Yep.
And
It's
those are
yep.
not my clientele. That is not my demographic.
Okay. Because
I'm
that's what I
very
think about all
selective.
the time. Oh man, my arm hurt. I'm not gonna be able to do chest today. How I'm gonna work around this or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think about that all the time, man.
Yes,
It just
yes,
becomes
yes, yes,
ingrained in my brain, man. But I love it though. I
yes.
love working out. I like the whole body transformation. I'm actually trying to do another show coming up. I just gotta get back focused and get back in that mindset of that whole diet routine, man, because it takes some
Yeah, I
extreme
can't.
discipline.
Y'all can have that.
It takes some extreme discipline. Hey, so
Yes,
walk me through, like, so for example, like, you got, so do you cater to men and women, or is it just like
yes.
women? Or so walk me through, like, for example, like, hey, I want to, I'm interested in getting healthy and what you have to offer. Like, what do you provide and like, what do you do and things like that? Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so step 1 is a body composition. We schedule a session, it's about 30 to 45 minutes. I put you on the scanner and we understand your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, your water intake, your cardiovascular levels, and different
Wow.
factors. Yeah, different, like 27 different factors. And I go through all of that information with the interested party during that time, and then just based on that information, I ask them what their goals are, whatever they're sharing with me, that's when I propose a solution for them. I give them a couple of options.
Uh-huh.
Um, and we take it from there. I do have male clients as well as female clients. I always enjoy male clients,
Uh-huh.
because they typically have the same mindset as you.
Uh-huh.
So it's not as much coddling as it is with, some of my female clientele, but, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
well.
that's how I roll, and then I have a little retail area up front, so every
Mhm.
day when you walk to my studio, you pass the retail area, and if you haven't been introduced to it, one day you'll ask, "So what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, so this is what we do."
Uh-huh.
And I usually convert. I mean, I have clients, their entire bathroom is covered in my branded stuff and,
Oh, so you don't just do skincare, you have, like, apparel as well?
well, I do have some apparel. I have a cropped jacket that I have right now, and I'm
Uh,
working on some other items, but I do have all natural serums and facial oils, and I do soaps and body butters and shampoo, conditioner, hair mousse. I just
oh,
shampoo
really?
my Yeah, I'm coming out with a conditioning mask as well for folks that have experienced hair loss from using GLP-1s. I
Uh,
do offer medical weight loss medication. I have a partnership with a physician, and so we're able to offer that as well because
what?
different clientele, we get whatever you need. A lot of people don't want to necessarily just work out and they need an extra boost, and we do
Right.
that and peptides. We do your growth hormone, peptides. We do all types of things that help you be well. If you have any cognitive issues, if you have issues with energy, if you have aging skin and you want help with that, We're able to offer different coenzymes and
Oh,
peptides
wow.
that
It's funny
yeah,
you
that
say
can
peptides because I just recently I haven't done any peptides or anything, but I was inquiring about it because a lot of people in the fitness world right now are talking about how like good like some of them things some of the peptides are. So I was actually, starting to do research on like, hey, what are these peptides and what is that about? Because I've always done everything natural. And peptides, it was like, well, no, it's not like any like steroids or anything like that. It's just kind of
not
like,
at all.
yeah, I didn't know that at first or whatever. I was, a little scared of taboo and stuff. So I'm still doing my research on it and something, but that's something that I'm interested myself into looking into. Because the only thing I really do is pre-workout, and I take a lot of protein, but I kind of dialed back on protein and started getting my protein naturally, like from foods and stuff like that, because they can say protein on the box, but sometimes you just never really know. You know what I mean? So I just
Yeah,
try
you
to, and
definitely
then
have to yeah,
right,
yeah,
and then
you
I
wanna
try to
get
train myself to wean myself off of like pre-workouts too. But they do help. Not gonna lie, when you dirt dog tired, man, them pre-workouts are like the bounty, the quicker picker upper. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
tried to
yeah,
like switch to like coffee, but coffee just gives me I don't like to crash when I come off of coffee. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to like come off of that. But anyway, peptides is something I'm looking to like, explore a little bit in the future.
You should definitely explore it. Samoralin is a really great peptide. So one
Uh,
thing about peptides, they're not natural, but they mimic things that naturally exist in your
okay,
body. So
okay,
they're like an antagonist.
okay,
So take Samoralin. Samoralin mimics the natural human growth hormone. And so what it does is it tells your body, it's like, "Hey, cell, hey, 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 produce more human growth hormone.
gotcha.
Produce more. Do it again. Now some more." Exactly. So it's one of those things where it's still considered a natural route
Uh-huh.
because it's not adding human growth hormone into your body.
Uh-huh.
It's antagonizing the system that already exists in your body to produce those types of hormones to produce more.
Oh
So,
wow.
Samoralin, if you want to do some research on a great one that's really good for bodybuilding, Samoralin is a great one.
Uh-huh.
NAD is great. NAD and glutathione. So, glutathione
You
is a
doing them chemistry words now. I'm
no,
like
no, I mean you was talking about you want to do some research, so I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
give
no, no, yeah, no.
you a yeah, yeah. Glutathione is an antioxidant, and you know what antioxidants do.
Right,
You're a
right,
biology
right.
major. Yeah. So what it does is it helps to detoxify the liver. It helps with
Oh
brightening the
wow.
skin. It helps with cognitive function. All of the things that you were talking about, where you would traditionally use a stimulant for, the glutathione can actually. Like I said, it's an antioxidant, so it does that naturally for your body. And then the NAD is a coenzyme that really helps to improve your body at a cellular level. It
Okay.
gets into the mitochondrial, you know what
Yeah,
that
yes,
is.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if there's any things that are deficient in that cell, it will help to improve those deficiencies. So
Uh-huh.
it does those things that it helps to enhance what already exists. It doesn't replace it, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay.
Peptides are
That's what's up,
are
man.
made
Yeah, you ain't. Hey, as you all can see, she is not playing. She knows her stuff, and she's educated. And that's what Skiggy does for you. That's what Skiggy will do to you. So
absolutely.
that's crazy. So, like, what lessons have you learned along the way during your journey, and what advice would you give to people who are trying to do what you're doing or get into what you're doing?
So, um, the first lesson is excellence is a habit. It's not a moment.
Oh, I like that. I think I might have to like, yeah, excellence is a
Yeah.
habit. Yeah.
It's a habit. It's not a
Wow.
moment.
Okay.
Um, so also like closed doors are often redirection. It's not rejection.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I mean, earlier I was talking about how you can take if you ever like get into a moment where you're thinking about where you are and what you've accomplished,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes those thoughts of why haven't I gotten this far? Why haven't I da 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 da
Right,
da? They
right.
come
Yep.
in, right?
Yep.
And so it's one of those things where maybe you're not supposed to be doing that thing at this moment, but look at where you are and how far you've come. Like,
Oh wow,
just
yeah.
stay in that moment. So those are like, the things that I would say have been lessons that I've learned along
Uh-huh.
my journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
because sometimes people can be impatient. We all can be impatient. Like I want it now, I want it now. But what you're going through is preparing you for when you get whatever you're ready for. This is the
Absolutely.
process that you have to go through. It's all about repetition over and over again. A lot of people say that, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. But me, I say that's practice. Because when you practice,
Yep.
you do it over and over again. You might tweak it a little bit, but you still doing repetition and repetition and repetition until it becomes natural, and then you go on to the next task and on to the next task. And by the time you get to the finish line, all these different habits that you have created along the way have morphed you into what you've now become. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
I understand that habit all so well, man. I did that with bodybuilding. I did that when I was at working in the fashion industry. Like in everything that I do, man, it's just over and over again. You have to master the mundane, and that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people struggle with. You have to master the boring times, the times where
Yeah.
it's just nothing. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you
Yeah.
doing it and there's no reward. Because sometimes people, you get addicted to those endorphins when you succeed and you get those accolades, and then all of a sudden when they don't come in, then it's just kind of like a mental crash and you just start to panic.
Yeah.
But you just got to stay the course, so you got to, in my
Absolutely.
opinion, you have to learn how to enjoy the process. And it's easier
Absolutely.
said than done, but even that takes practice. It's training your mind because
Yeah.
your mind is a muscle. And the more you train it, the better you become. So it's like when I started this podcast, people was like, "How you did it?" I was like, "You know what? I just did it." I mean, I don't.
Delusion.
Yeah, it's no such thing. And people was like, it's no real no blueprint. You just have to do it, and you'll figure it out along the way. Just like
Yeah.
anything, you'll figure it out. So far it's been doing pretty good. It's been pretty successful. Now my phone is ringing off the hook, and it's like now.
Amen to that.
Yes, I mean, that is a blessing. And now it's just kind of like now I have to get better at organizing this aspect of what I want to do because where I came from in corporate America, I got that down pat. But now I'm putting that what I've learned in that into this. But it's a little bit different, but it's over and over again. It's every morning waking up like, okay, I got to schedule this and this, this and this time. I have to look at this planner all the time, every day, because when you work with somebody, you get that email, how I mean that email reminder. You get that text. Here I have to program all that stuff in myself and make sure I stay on top
Absolutely.
of it. You know what I mean? So it's good, man, and I enjoy it. And hopefully, I'm able to, help more people like you, get themselves out there because it's like we always try to get in everybody else's circle, but we got our own circle. Why don't we create our own circle and have everybody try to get in our circle? You know what I mean? So that's the
Amen to
whole
that.
goal and motivation and stuff. Hey, so how can people get in touch with you if they wanted to, be a part of your program, a part of your system, the name of your business, how you spell it, and all the things like that, so they can find you and maybe they can reach out. And then you also do online. So yeah, just let everybody know
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah, so the best way to get in touch with me is Instagram. You can DM me. My Instagram is The Wellness Company LLC, even though I'm an S corp, but that's another tax talk. We can have that tax talk later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh, I'm definitely bringing
yeah.
you back. You got a wealth. You got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, so the Wellness Company LLC is my Instagram. Just shoot me a DM. I'm also available via text at 803-599-6339. My email is info@thewellnessco.site. So I am on all social media platforms, The Wellness Company LLC. But if you want to get in touch with me directly or quickly, Instagram is the best way to do it. And my
Okay.
website is thewellnesscode.site.
So as you all know, you all have no excuse. She's here to help you out. She's here to help you get on track with any kind of health issues, within her realm. And she's available. I don't know if anybody except for Mike Jones a long time ago would just give their number out. So that just lets you know that she is serious. So let them,
Absolutely.
yeah. So let them know your company one more time in the Instagram page.
Sure. The Wellness Company is the name of my company, name of my brand, and I have it on my shirt. I don't know if you can see that. The Wellness Company.
Okay, there you
Um,
go. Yes, 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 yes.
and my Instagram is the Wellness Company LLC.
Well, before we wrap it up, if there's one like inspirational quote or piece of advice that you would give to the audience, what would it be?
Start before you're ready. Clarity comes from movement.
Okay.
I think I can tie that back to your biology background
Mhm.
because studying things at the cellular level, I mean, we started out as one cellular beings, the amoeba, right?
Right.
And it took us centuries, eons to morph into who we are right now. So to your point about practicing and being patient, that's a very important part of the journey. I know people in their 20s don't like to hear it. I didn't want to hear it in my
I
20s.
know. Yeah, I know.
But you know what? It's okay. Don't block it out. Just keep going.
Uh-huh.
But once you get into those 40s, you realize that you like, "What am I in a hurry to do again?"
Yeah, I know, right? You're like, wait a minute. Like, yeah, let me
Yeah.
go ahead and make it happen. Well, Shamika, I appreciate you coming on. We definitely will bring you back on. And once
Okay.
again, it's always a pleasure. And like I always tell everybody, keep it country, keep it cowboy, and God bless America.
Alright. Thank you.